Hello and welcome to another edition of Aberystwyth Town in Conversation With. My guest this evening is none other than Sion James. Sion, how's things?
Good, Paul. Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Not too bad. Thanks very much for coming on. So, what have you been up to during lockdown over the last couple of weeks? Not much, I guess.
Couple of weeks. Sorry?
Not much, I guess.
Well, look, I'm lucky enough. I'm still in work, so we've been in work since the first lockdown, really. So that's been some positive. And like you say, yeah, everything seems all right. Only just missing the football, that's all. And that's all about it. Yeah. But apart from that, everybody's good.
Brilliant. Glad to hear it. I was going to touch on this at the end, but we'll start off with the breaking news over the summer that you're now assistant manager of Penryn. So congratulations. How does it feel to be in your first managerial role?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't something I was, didn't think it would happen. I know Freddie was in charge, was put in charge, and we wanted him in charge as players, senior players. And then I think he asked one or two people to help him out, and I don't think they could with work and stuff. And he came to me, and I couldn't say no to him because, I think it was down to me, or he probably wasn't going to do it, So I thought I'll help out as much as I can, And no, it's been an interesting start, But no, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. We've got some new players in. Hungry players, players who've been playing locally and want to better themselves, and they're playing training. They've been different class. Me and Fred got no worries at all for the season ahead.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the appointment. I'm sure I'm not alone in looking forward to come watching a few games when you can finally get playing again.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
So that's what you're up to at the moment, but let's go right back to the start, and we'll start off with your first steps in football. So how did you first get involved in the game, and what were your early influences?
Dad's a big football fan, still is. So him taking us to Penryn, watch Penryn play, me and my brother, we'd go to watch Aber, even though first memories of watching Aber were probably not watching the football, just mucking around with my brother and the other kids. And I remember the side of the Diaz stand, there used to be a standing area there.
Right.
And I used to have a corner little shop there. That's all I remember is I just wanted wagon wheels.
That little shop was still there up until the sort of open air stand was built, wasn't it?
That's it, yes, yeah. And that's the first memories I have of going to Park Avenue with my old man. I think it was just for the wagon wheels, not much of the football. But then, obviously, then I was going to watch Gary play. He's family. He's a cousin of mine. Freddie was a Pennycourt boy, and we were going down to support them at the end. And that's where, as a kid, that's where you wanted to be. That's where you wanted to play. In Aber, and it was good times, and and obviously my dad then started taking me to watch Liverpool, which is
brilliant.
Even better.
I was going to ask the question who you supported as a kid, but anyone who knows you knows we don't have to ask that question, do we?
And it's funny because my old man was a Wolves fan.
Wow. Okay. So
why Wolves fan? So it must have come through school. Something's happened, but back then when I was in the 80s, they were winning things, so it was quite easy to support them. But yeah.
So come on then, we've got to talk about it. How did you celebrate the title in the summer?
Oh, I don't want to say too much. I say enough on Twitter. They're probably sick of me on Twitter. No, like you say, we were in lockdown and had a few drinks at home, champagne. But yeah, that was a stressful time because the Null and Void and all that was coming out. And oh my God, I just thought, please no. And no, good. Well chuffed. Well chuffed.
They got there eventually, didn't they?
Yes.
So we'll move on to how you first got involved with Aberystwyth Town as a club. Then, did you come through the youth system?
To be honest with you, I was with Penryn. I played a lot of youth with Penparky. Actually, I didn't. Okay. I was asked to go with Aber, but for some reason they were quite close. Penparky were a good side as well at the time, and I decided to go Penparky. I don't know, because the football I was playing for Aberystwyth, it was up to about 15, 16, and a lot of my friends, so I sort of stuck with them. And then it wasn't until I went to Aberystwyth then, and that's where I started with Brains, I think it was, in charge then, and yeah, that's where it started with Aber. That was good, and then eventually I got on the bench for them a few times. I think I can't remember the manager. No, who was after Barry Powell?
Was it Gary Finlay?
Gary Finlay, I think it was. Yeah, Gary Finlay. I just got on the bench a few times.
Was it Frank Regan?
Frank Regan. What? I can't quite remember. Frank Regan, maybe. Yeah. And I got on the bench a few times, but nothing came of it. It just, I think making up the numbers at the time. But it was a good experience, and I think that made a hell of a difference to how I went on, But yeah, didn't get on, but being in the changing room was a good start, with some good players in there, very good players.
So which, you mentioned the players there, which players were actually involved in the first team at that time?
Well, the likes of, Paddy was there. Freddie there? God, it's so far back. It's hard to. I've been going through my mind all week. God, it's funny how you remember all the players and stuff, and it's I was so young. You're not focusing really. You're just in awe of where you are and where I was, and
trying to take it all in.
Yeah, it is. It was. Looking. This week I'll be looking back. When is that? And you just think, God, I don't remember much from there. But yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, very good, very good.
So after a few appearances on the bench from the bench for Aber, you moved on to Carmarthen Town, and was that your first real taste of Welsh Premier football?
Was This is where I do remember. Because I remember at the time you could sign for 2 clubs, so I was with Penryn. And then Tommy took me with Carmarthen, and I played a midweek game. And then he wanted me to play on the Saturday for them. Saturday or Friday night or something, and it was against Aber.
Right. Wow.
So, but and I was like, oh God. And then we played, and I did well. I was marking Paddy actually. I think Tommy played me left back.
Wow.
I remember marking about it, and of course you're so young and you're fearless. You don't,
Yeah, absolutely.
Not till now you think, oh God, Paddy, and everything was going well, brilliant. Come second half, and I went for a challenge with Mr. Barry Morgan, and freak it was. I jumped up with him, landed, and ended up breaking my leg.
That was on your debut?
For Carmarthen, yeah, at Park Avenue.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was complete. Just me and him both went for a challenge, landed, and I can't remember anything then. I was so much pain, and remember being in an operation then, fracture in the fibula and the tibia. So yeah, it was.
Wow. How long were you out for in the end?
I missed. So it was early on in the season, so I missed all that season. And it was just a complete year out, and then what happened next? The season after, then I went to. Well, I was saying again. I joined Penryn, but you could 2 clubs thing. It was.
Yeah, I remember it well. Yeah.
That's so I went and played for Barry. Then I had one or 2 games with Barry. We taught me again. I think Tommy was down there as an assistant manager. I think during the time when Barry were in a bit of a mess, really.
So were you there at the same time as Sherbs?
That's it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We were going down together, and what a trek that is. Training and
I can imagine it was an entertaining journey with Sherbs, though.
oh, the guy is a legend. The legend. The stories he comes out with. I thought Tommy had some stories. Sherbs was just as good, just as bad.
His interview was so good last week that we had to split it into 2 parts.
All right, yeah.
Sure
I tell you, you could probably do another few interviews with him, and he'd still have more stories for you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So after your spell with Barry, you came back to Park Avenue in the summer of 2004, and this time you got to make your debut.
Yes, that was with
your full debut.
Yeah, that was with Buzzer. Buzzer was in charge, I think he was. And yeah, was it Airbus away?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I think it was Airbus away. If I remember rightly, we lost. But yeah, that was a.
Was that when Airbus were playing up at Conway?
No, I think it was up in
the airfield.
Yeah, I'm sure it was up there. Yeah. But yeah, that was, like you say, there's so much, memories and stuff like that. It's oh God. But no, Buzzer was brilliant. I loved playing for Buzzer. I think I played 32 games that season for him.
Most ever present.
Yeah.
And was that as a centre half alongside Freddie at the time, or was that in midfield?
Alongside Freddie and right back as well.
Okay.
One of the first experiences with Buzzer I remember was me and Freddie used to travel to games together, and we didn't know the team or anything, and he dropped Freddie for me, and I played centre half.
Right.
And it was against a young Rhys Griff,
right,
who nobody knew about, but I think he had a previous season.
Talbot at the time.
Yeah, but he played against us that day. It was for Talbot against us. And of course, he scored a hat-trick, didn't he? And I remember...
He got a few of those over the years. He got a few of those over the years, didn't he?
Oh, my God, yeah. What a beast of a player. But yeah, I remember just thinking Fred was mad. He was mad. He didn't... Straight home. As soon as the game finished, it was straight home. And... of course, I was young, still, I was 23, 24, but, you're so, but yeah, I wasn't, but Fred, I remember Fred on the way home didn't say nothing, as if it was my fault.
Oh, brilliant. And apart from Fred and Buzzer, who else was in the side at that time when you came back?
Fred, Buzzer. Who was there then? Who did he bring? God, it's hard to think.
Was Sherbs around?
Sherbs was there, yes. Was Bradshaw there then? Or was Tom Bradshaw, young Tom Bradshaw? That was your dad?
Yeah, Tom was a bit later, wasn't he?
Tom was a bit later with your dad, yeah. Barry must have been there. Mm-hmm. Barry must have been there.
Paddy, obviously.
Paddy, Passmore maybe? No, Passmore wasn't it. Passmore was a bit later again. Yeah. You had some boys from South then. Mikey Howard. Mikey Howard was there, left back. Steve, who's in goal for him? Honky, I think. Was it Honky in goal?
I think so, yeah.
God, so many players. God.
I was going to say you stayed with the club for 12 years in that period.
Yeah,
some players
I was trying to think. I must have gone through 6 or 7 managers, easy.
Why? Yeah.
So I've seen players come, go, and every pre-season was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get in this team. They're bringing in all these players, and you're just thinking. But luckily, what I was doing, I was just. First couple of games maybe on the bench and taking my chance when I had it, and luckily I had quite a good run for a few years.
So just touching on that then, I can remember you playing centre midfield, right back, left back, centre half. What was your favourite position?
Centre half was where I'd like to play, but some of my best games were probably in midfield. as well. So, but I did like centre half. I felt as because that's where I grew up playing. I remember playing in the 15s and 16s, and that's where I first started.
Yeah.
I felt as if I could, I wasn't the biggest, but I felt like I could read the game quite well, even at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt, that's where I felt comfortable, where I could see people in front of me and stuff. But I enjoyed, I enjoy playing anywhere for Town. If sometimes when you see some of the players we had in our squads, I would have played anywhere. That's what I would have done. And I think the managers knew. I wasn't as good as the likes of Sherbs and the Venezes and all those players that we've had. But I think what I gave everything. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what got me so many seasons with Aber.
Yeah, 12. Not many players get to play 10 years for one club. Never mind.
No,
particularly your hometown club as well.
Yeah. No, I am really proud of how long I was there for. And
absolutely. So you should be.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it so much. There's so many good people there. Like I say, the people like Emir, late Emir now, and Anne in the tea room down, to sidelights, people like that, people who put their heart and soul into the club,
Yeah.
And seeing them on the buses, I hear Sherbs talk about our bus trips,
I was going to come on to the bus journeys later.
Yeah, brilliant, and you're making that was their weekend, coming to watch Aber, and they were so positive, even when we lost, they were. And for people like that, that's what made me really, really proud to be part of it,
Yeah, I think that's quite special about Aberystwyth Town as a football club, and almost unique as well as the real positivity that's always around the club. No one ever gets too down or too angry about a defeat. It's always always really positive messages that come out, and that you've mentioned there, and so many others as well. They're legends of the club, off-field legends.
No, that's what it was, and I always say to people, if somebody ever asked me, about Aber, or when I was playing for Aber and they were thinking of coming, and I'd always say to them, you're coming to one of the best League of Wales clubs, and they will look after you.
Yeah.
There was times, some of the clubs in the league, they couldn't afford to pay their players and stuff. We never had that problem. Never had that problem. People would, the club would look after them, and like you say, you'd even get some of the fans, helping. They'd do anything to help that club. And honestly, it's such a special club. And, people like yourself, your media team, see, and it's really good, really good.
Brilliant. Well, you've just mentioned the bus journeys there, so we can't move on without asking this question. What's your best memory of an Aberystwyth Town bus journey?
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, I lost a relationship because of it, and that's no joke.
Can you tell us any more about that, or is that a secret?
No, well. No, she wasn't too keen on when we used to play away, put it this way. I'll leave it there, I think. But no, but the best trip was a semi-final win down in Haverfordwest.
2009.
Welsh Cup semi-final. When Freddie scored that winner. That was the first time I've really felt out of control in the changing room, as in emotion wise.
Yeah.
I don't know what, because it was last minute, because it was Freddie. I just felt, because I think the town is quite good. They stick together. It's such a big game, and so many people wishing you well and stuff like that, and you feel so much relief for making them happy and stuff, and that was, I remember I couldn't. The adrenaline was going through you I couldn't until I got home. It must have been. It was just you were just on such a high, and that the bus trip was unbelievable singing, like, you know, and you get Di Caprice, you could see, when you see Di Caprice stumbling towards the back, when you've won a game, this is going to be a good speech coming from him now. And no, unbelievable. Yeah, the bus trips were something you could only dream of.
One of my best memories of that day was actually you grabbing Martin Griffiths by the face and just saying to him, "Griffey, Welsh Cup final." I think it was one of the 4, 5 or 6 pubs that we stopped off at on the way back. I think just sinking in at that point.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Giving me pimples thinking about it. Those good times. Yeah, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. We had a good night.
It was that semi-final win was a long time coming as well, because the years leading up to that, it all seemed to be the club was getting to the semi-finals of the League Cup, and 3 seasons in a row. It was heartbreaking, the semi-finals of the League Cup, wasn't it? Against Caersus, then Llanelli, then Bangor earlier that season.
Yeah.
But do you have any memories of those semi-finals?
No, not really. Again, you see, probably best.
Concentrate really on the victory.
Yeah, probably
that
best.
Overrides everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's one thing. The team, some of the teams we had and the players we had. That's one regret. Really, we didn't win enough. Didn't win it. Well, we didn't win anything. We come close, but that was the one regret, really. But things will change, I'm sure, down here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Aberystwyth Town winning a trophy is long overdue, and hopefully it'll happen soon.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope so.
But we can't skip past this without just touching on that cup final of 2009. So, what are your memories of that day down at Parker Scarlets?
Yeah, again, like the semi-final, the emotion of the day. That's what I remember mostly about it. Just getting the good wishes off everybody. The bus was full. Tony made a speech on the bus, just before we got off and stuff. I just remember I couldn't sleep that night. I think I was talking to Barry Morgan a lot about it, and we sat by each other and just, we were listening to music, and it was just, I don't know whether we were draining ourselves a little bit. Looking back, I drained myself, too much on it. And the game then, second goal, Les too strong for me, just not nudged me over like he did most of his career. But that hurt. That defeat hurt. That was the worst day. I could say that was from the emotions of everything, and then losing in that changing room. And I remember your dad he said a speech. He didn't say much in the game of the day. He spoke in training, I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday before the final. And it was one of the most inspiring speeches. I remember we were going out to train, and I felt like 10 foot tall, because he spoke so well. I'll never forget it. And he was unbelievable. He was just something I'll never forget. And it was just gutted to lose at the end. He was so close again.
Yeah. It almost felt as if it was meant to be that year, didn't it? But
yeah.
As often happens in football, unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But, the following year was a good one for the club, finishing 4th in the league, and unfortunately again just missing out on Europe on the final day, and I believe because of a Welsh Cup result. The Welsh Cup final results.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, we were on our end of season trip. I think we were up in Blackpool.
Sherbs was talking about it last week. Yeah.
Oh, he did say, yeah, and because they were. Who was it? Talbot v Bangor, was it? No.
it was Bangor again, wasn't it? I think they
Bangor.
Was it Bangor again? They won 3 in a row, didn't they?
Yeah, that's it.
3, yeah.
But the team we needed Bangor to lose, didn't we? I think it was, and
So,
that's how it worked out, because they were already in Europe, weren't they? And I think they were losing or something, didn't they? Or they were winning. But yeah, they buggered it up for us anyway.
Another Bangor result denying Aberystwyth time.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost you then.
So I just said there's a bit of a theme here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Aberystwyth, right at the death.
It is, yeah. Big Les, it is. He's been giving me nightmares for years. He has.
Yeah, what a player he was, by the way. What a player.
Oh, like I said before, my worst nightmare. He was the player I couldn't get to grip with. He was in my head at the end. Even when he played for Bangor when I was playing for Penryn, you know, I would have thought, you know, maybe his standard is, not saying he come down, but I just thought maybe I could have him here. No, couldn't. Just the one player I just could not get to grips with.
He's your nemesis then.
He was just, you didn't know what to do with him. He was so strong.
Yeah.
You know, you try and get in front of him. The worst thing you did was touch him, because you'd bounce the other way. Right. And he was just naturally so strong and good in the air. And yeah, what a player. Yeah, what a player.
Phenomenal player. So, yeah, from that period, then that's when you sort of cemented yourself as the regular centre half of the club and partnering Fred for a bit, and then you sort of became the mainstay then at centre half for a number of years, and that culminated in the Welsh Cup final in 2014 again. So just talk us about the run through to that final, and then Europe that subsequently followed.
Yeah, 2014 TNS.
Yes,
final.
Wrexham, yeah.
I played. I was a bit disappointed because I've been playing all season, and I played in the last league game as well. Kept a clean sheet, centre half, and he dropped me for the final.
Right.
He played Wyn and Stu. Wyn and Stu Jones played. So yeah. Disappointed, we're involved, because that hurt at the end, because I felt that could have been my last chance to win something.
Yeah.
I was 34, still young, but just because of the team we had. And there was signs of players leaving. It was such a good side. I just felt that was the chance, and that was a disappointing day as well, because we were winning 2-0. I think 2-0. It was.
Yeah, it was 3 late goals, wasn't it? I think the full-time fitness of the new Saints kicked in.
Yeah,
towards the end.
And myself and Barry was on the bench as well. And Christoph was on the bench as well at the time. And I think Peter Hoy played right back. Peter Hoy was brilliant, mind you, deserved to play. And I think, like you say, they just got at him all the time at the end. And I think it's just fitness-wise, they put Mullen on, is it? Mullen came on and he was fresh, and we couldn't handle him, and they just got 3 goals at the end. But yeah, that was disappointing. Like, again, we had a hell of a crowd with us, great crowd, and
I remember it well. Yeah.
It's just that disappointment. You're let down. You're devastated yourself, and then you just think, you see the people again, and you just think, yeah, that was a horrible bus journey home as well. But